Godzillicus here. Hey guys, and just a quick videos of last night or 10-7-19 tournaments. So anyway, I'm going to let these run through. I don't have a good way yet of recording our Discord chat, which I'd rather have. So you're just stuck with in-game sounds and my commentary. And some of this may just roll with just the gameplay, and then I'll make comments when necessary. Anyway, this is the first round action, and as you can see here, I've called meds to C, the heavies and TDs, kind of soft into B. Getting good spots and good shots, as I always say, and that's what we've done. We've already capped C, and it looks like you can probably see more, maybe tell some if you look up at the mini map, which I'll refer to. Hey, we got some good positions. We was covering B, weren't out in the open, so now we're just kind of jockeying for position and getting those shots that I talk about all the time. Now, I believe, as I'm remembering the chatter, is we had everybody kind of hold on the heavy line and then allow the meds to kind of flank or work in some shots, but they have kind of pushed into our position, and that's one reason why I'm kind of pushing back towards our spot, trying to get some shots in. This ARL here kind of pushed a little bit too far, but he was doing good work. Now here's another thing, is we were kind of in good shape, but we lost a tank. And I kind of got in too far, so I just kept going, took a lot of shots here. I'm in a bad position, so just to make matter, do what I can, is I want to take out a tank before I go, is kind of the whole point of it. So I sort of dive bomb in here. Do not do this. This is not correct. I play medium in tournaments. Hey, I get lucky there. Don't get a shot. I finally get a shot in before I get deleted. But basically, as we're now up on points and even on tanks, and kind of some of the calls here is going after these low hit point ARLs, concentrating on them. That was the call, and then you can see everybody's kind of rolling in on them and taking care of business here. We take out 2 of them. That puts us up a couple of tanks. Obviously up on points by now. Then everybody rolls in and takes care of the rest of the reds here, and I believe they may take out one of our tanks. I'm not sure. I don't remember at this point, but we do go on at this point. Well, this is the second match with the Warriors Clan. Same map, opposite side, obviously. And if you take a look up there, the kind of the tank indicators, is they have got a lot of mediums this time around. They kind of switched it up. So the call here was to go, heavies go into A, while the meds and the light kind of go soft into B and get some spotting. Because kind of assumed they were going to go heavy into C, or most of their tanks into C, that is. So anyway, we do get a couple of meds spotted. They're on C, get some shots in. Take a look at the mini map up there. Hey, we've got all the guys, the heavies and the TDs. We've got 2 TDs this time, are rolling in. As Little Picazard has went in and he's capping B, trying to kind of steal one there that we weren't counting on, while the heavies are capping out on A. All right, so we do get both caps. And at this point, we're going to be up. We're up on bases. We will be up on points once the timer kind of clicks down. So now, here, guys, the call here is kind of to get your guns on B, get a good spot, get some shots in. Keep covered. Don't don't bleed unnecessarily, as they call it. Don't bleed your hit points, because we're in a very good position, and no need to press it now. We do kind of press over, on the red spawn area a little too far. I would have liked not to have gone that far, but hey, that's what happened. And then they kind of press us through our spawn on the flank. And we've got that covered. Now, I do notice the sentinel here is pushed up, and it's kind of causing some problems for one of our teammates here. So I roll back while some of the other teammates kind of cover that flank and roll in and work on taking out the sentinel, which is kind of key at this point. If we don't get it out, we can't pay attention to the rest of it. And we do that, and it's back to the same business of, jockey for position, get some good shots in. Hey, we're still up on bases and points, and we do a decent job of working the plan. Like I said, we got a little too far out over on our left flank over there initially, and just haven't been able to pull out of it, and that's just what happens. But now I can get on the flank and start getting some stuff in on this guy. Now we were up a tank, but now we're even. They've bled quite a few hit points because we were taking good positions and not taking unnecessary damage, in the process. So we're way up on points, bases. I think we need to take out at least one or two more tanks, if not all of them on this game, going from memory, and then roll up here and okay, there's the points. We'll win on cap points. We'll take it. And that was a good start to the tournament. Next round, second round of the tournament, is Drew 5th Division and a Middleburg map, as you can see here. Now, what we're kind of looking at here is because they have mediums and lights on us. Originally it was going to go like AC, but the call was basically to crash the bottom of the map, go A, and then I would take, I would take A while the heavies rolled on into B. So that was the call here. That was the madness that you're seeing. It was not the original plan. It had to be changed when we saw their lineup, which happens. I mean, we can have all the detailed plans that we want to have, but when they change their lineup, something a little unexpected, then we have to kind of roll with the flow and go with it. Now they've already got B and C caps, which isn't totally a big thing on this map. Cap points aren't critical as they might be in others. My call here was, hey, just keep pushing on their heavy side over here. This ARL is isolated and low hit points, and we do take him out. Now, at this point, we are up a tank. I roll out here a little unadvised, kind of trying to spot, and I take a couple of shots, and I will do so again once we kind of lose the spot on those tanks out there. I am thinking that I want a spot for my TD so he can get some good shots in. Not maybe the best thing, but that's what I did. As you can look at the mini map, even though they're pressing us, we do have two caps, and we're all in a pretty good position in one area where our guns can support each other, which is a good thing. Because this was called, hey, I'm getting pressed. I was able to come over plus others and take that VK out. Now, we're down a cap now all of a sudden. We're still up a tank, and I take a big hit that I shouldn't have, and decide to bolt out and try to get out of harm's way, but everybody's on pretty low hit points. We do take one more tank out, which puts us a tank up. If I remember right, we were trying to go after this VK. Yeah, that's what we were trying to go get the VK. As I cross the way here, I get lucky in that I don't take any damage, but it slows me down enough where I don't get to the point I take that shot quicker than I wanted to. Then I hit the adrenaline, and that gets me this kill. That puts us up a tank, but I think we are both, if you look at us, maybe one shot. Now, LARC gets a shot in on this Comet. I believe the Comet's coming after me. So I'm going to take a position and try to get a shot in, and hopefully teammate LARC will come over and he gets the clutch shot of the night right there. Gets the kill, and that secures us the win in that first game. So now here we are in the second game of that match. And let's see if I remember correctly yeah, we're going to do the BC and, kind of spot this up. Now, we do an okay job of this, but one of the problems is you'll see it really quick. And we get them spotted. There's all their meds and lights are up here with us. At this point, we still don't have any heavies spotted. There's one finally that comes up. That should have kind of clued me in and told everybody to clear out of the top up here. Quicker than I did. At this point, I'm starting to think, okay, the heavies are coming up to sea. We're going to be in a bad way. And I do start making a call to kind of back up if we can. It's just, we got stuck in so far, and they aren't pressing because they know they've got their heavies coming up, and there's one popping up on the screen. So my call is get out if you can. I'm going to try to extricate myself. I don't believe it works out very well for me. I'm gone. So that was one thing, was a little slow reacting to the situation on my call, and some of the tank rotations we had there. Now, Infoman does last a lot longer at the top, kind of by himself, than I thought he would. Which helps out. I mean, get a couple of shots in, delay them, do what you can to even when you're going down, help your teammates out a little bit. Now, one of the things we do here is we get kind of strung out just slightly. Our heavy over there is isolated. They know it. That's why they're pushing straight down. They're going after him. It's a 3-on-1. There's no gun support. It's just not going to end well for the heavy there. So something we do need to kind of work on is even the last game match when we won, is we got a little bit spread out, but we were in good enough shape where we could rotate, get our guns to help each other out. Kind of key in most battles. You want to, if you get somebody isolated, if you can get 3 guns on one or 4 guns on one, the math is pretty simple. That tank's going down, and once you get one tank down, well, you know how it works. It pretty much the match in most cases is what happens there. Now, as you can see here, they do have 2 bases on us. We still have points, even the tanks, but we just bled too much. They had too good a position. I think here in the end is the guys are kind of going to go down is what's going to happen. And sometimes that happens, and that's the way it is. This is the third game in the match with 5th Division. Now, something happened here is we ended up with more TDs than we needed. We got 3 TDs, and that's probably about 2 too many. The original call was going to be something else, so adapted and told, the call was everybody to A. I think Little Picazard was going to kind of make a spotting run, see what he could do out there. And what I'm telling everybody here, and it worked out pretty well, is I'm going to go into this position and hold and spot. I'm not actually worried about getting in any damage. I mean, I get in a few shots, but because we've got a lot of good TD guns back there, and in our heavies, is these guys were coming up this direction. I felt pretty solid on that. And all I wanted to do was keep them spotted and keep them baited to where those big guns in the back can work. And you can see behind me on the minimap, everybody's lined up in pretty decent, shape. It's hard for me to see exactly where they are on cover, but I've got them spotted up. Everybody's wanting to push me. They can't really do that without going over that hill and catching some fire. So, there again, I got kind of lucky on some of these shots, but my whole point was just to pop up, show myself, and sort of bait these guys. And, everybody wants to do damage and do those kind of things. Get a little bit more concerned about their heavies coming from the side, which I think does happen a little bit. But as you can see, they have taken a lot of damage, and we got a tank here. Got the VK up there is kind of down. I think we're up 2 tanks. And then there comes the heavies. Yeah, I finally took a shot inside. Lucky didn't take more. But anyway, I've got the VK up here, but you can see in the mini map there again, look, is all of our guns are kind of in one area. If they're not all able to converge immediately, at least with a little bit of movement, you can support your teammate. And that's what we got to work on, our strats, maybe a little bit more, and then our execution of those strats is to make sure we don't get strung out and isolate ourselves. We want to work on isolating the Reds and letting them isolate themselves. That's what they want to do. So anyway, I believe we go on to kind of clean this up and win the match. Now moving on to the third tour. As you can see here, the Normandy map, and kind of the mixed clan, the I clan and the CFM clan, if I remember correctly. So basically, the call here was we're going to go to up here to CD. We'll take C, then push into D with all the heavies. It's myself and Little Picazard would kind of maybe go up and spot, but then rotate to the backside and cover our flank in the rear because they do have some mediums and a light there. So we didn't want to just push totally hard, get our concentration going one direction, and then they flank us, and that can obviously end up as a bad deal. So you can see as the battle is developing there, as everybody's moving up, I'm just up here trying to maybe spot a little bit, but sometimes I have to observe, as a caller, observe the battlefield. So if you see me wandering around like this, it's what I'm doing is just sort of, spotting, sort of looking at the map, assessing the situation, making a call. So the call was, basically the same thing as everybody else, doing CD. We've already got one cap and working on the second, so are they. As I rotate over with the Little Picazard and kind of start getting into their mediums, and maybe that's a light up there, Type 64, and start dealing out damage, covering our flank. As you can see, we're a base up, more or less even points at this time, and the Cromwell is pushed, and he's taking too much damage. I think I'm gonna get a little help here, and we kind of take it off. Then we're able to move on. But at this point, you can look and the TDs and the heavies and everybody else up at the CD area had already taken care of a couple of tanks, and for the most part, didn't need our help to come help flank. They'd already taken care of business also. Now here we are, is still on third tour, second match, same map. It's pretty much the call was the same. We was going to go up CD, except I was going to start out by spotting down here, off of this mill, which is a good place to spot. Kind of felt comfortable they were wanting to go at the CD themselves, so I put myself in position to do a little bit of spotting. And I think it turned out rather well. That tank got spotted by someone else. We spotted these two heavies down here. And guys, I mean, that really set the tone of the match. As they got spotted before they could ever go to CD, they stop and stall, take damage, And whatever call they had going on, I believe, got interrupted because they just once you get everybody spotted, and definitely if you get a couple of cheap shots in like we did, boy, it sure helps. Now, so what I've done here, I said, hey, let's they're up at CD, let's push and take out this Tiger, and there's the JG, of course, hanging in the back. But I know I'm going to take some hits here, but in the name of taking out this heavy, I kind of stick and help put some damage in. Kind of lucky that I get deleted, but yeah, I'll take the luck when we can. If they're pointing at me, that means they're not pointing at our heavies and TDs up at CD. So not a bad trade-off in the end. I do keep taking some more damage, and I just bug out and kind of hang out and watch everybody play. There again is we're already up 7-3, and this is just cleaning up the tanks. They're just not. They don't have enough numbers at this point to do much.
We're immobilized. Enemy armor is damaged. Penetration.
Now we're on to the fourth tour, and we're here at this is Castile. In the call here, and we're against the X-wing and Y-wing. The call here was we were going to go all A. We had a couple TDs and a couple of heavies, but mediums and a light. So the thought here was to get to Castile, get position, get ground, maybe cap A, and see what develops. This is the position of medium I like getting in, except they know that too, and I'll take a couple of quick hits. But they are spotted up, so we know that they're coming. At least they're mediums in this area, and there's the other medium pops up. I believe we've got some tanks up on the very top, and they're maneuvering around. So are we. Everybody else is coming up behind us, and as you can see, there again, our guns are all kind of in one area at least. Even if they're not able to get off the same spot, at least with minimal travel and time. Time's a big thing. We don't isolate ourselves, and in a little bit of time we can come to the aid of our teammates. So there we got some guys down. The heavies have come up down in the A area. They got some damage in. I'm able to pop up and take care of one. Now they're down 2 tanks. Now the rest of their heavies and maybe the other medium bugged out. But anyway, they're down more or less into the B area. They do have captured C, so I think we're going to get somebody on A, get A capped, and then just start working. We got the high ground, and we've got numbers. So they have bled a little bit, I think, on a tank or 2. This is just a matter of kind of working the position and not pushing too hard, too far. We do lose a tank. Unfortunate, but I believe we're able to kind of rebound nicely on this one and pull out the win. We're still up a couple of tanks. As you can tell, I mean, we're not too worried about cap points as we don't have a cap. Caps are nice. Some maps are not totally necessary. This is one where it's not necessary. It is nice to get a cap where you have some pressure being applied. We didn't do that. It didn't come into play this particular game. Anyway, this is just mopping up the last couple of tanks and moving on.
That one ricochet.
Now, guys, is on this. This is the second game of the match with Y and X-Wing Clan. Is now the call here is basically the same thing. I believe we have the same lineup for the most part, and it's go to A, take the high ground and work it like we did the last time. Felt pretty confident in that, and thought we were going to do rather well. This is not good driving. Don't do that. I kind of overcompensated trying to make sure I was staying out of the way of my teammate there. Didn't have to, but yeah, well, the mistakes you make. But anyway, as we get all the mediums and lights, as we're going up here, to the, I think it's a monastery, a church, or what chapel, whatever it is. We get up here and get the high ground, and it looks like you got one spotted down in B. And I want you to look at the mini map. Look up there. We're spread out. See how we got our TDs that have hung back. I believe one of our heavies is kind of in that B alley, and we're up here. It's not that anything did anything bad, but this is really good individual play in a public match. This is the kind of things you do. But in a tournament match, versus a good, halfway decent opponent, or the X and Y clan, Y-wing clan are good opponents. You're going to pay a price for that. And we've just not, got our guns together and deleted anybody yet. Notice it's 7-on-7. They haven't either, but they're kind of working the map. And here in a little bit, you'll see as they do our TDs get a little bit isolated over there. Once they get isolated and strung out like that, the TDs have a hard time, hanging with a turreted tank. That's just the fact of life. They need time and distance to deal out that damage, and once people close in on them, it's awfully tough. So that's one reason why multiple TDs in most matches maybe not a good thing. Anyway, they've got two caps. We have taken out a tank, and so have they. And I'm going after the Jagdpanther because he's a one-shot. I want to get in the rear of their formation and try to help out here a little bit. We're actually up a tank. They've bled a little bit, but there again, we've got a guy that's isolated. He's almost a one-shot. They gang up on him and take him out here in a minute. I was trying to get in there and help. This Cromwell cut me off, and then now their tanks have rotated on me, and you see all the damage pouring in from all different angles while I'm on the screen. So I'm gone. Now it's 4-on-3. We've got one tank. One of the TDs is isolated over there by himself. We got two of our tanks up top. And, the TD goes down because he is isolated. And now, they're up on points and bases. The call was, hey, if you wonder what these guys are doing while they charged out in the middle, that's because I told them to. Okay, you just got to, there's nothing here to do except try to get to one of the bases and cap it, do something, get lucky. Yeah, didn't work out. Okay, guys, so here we are on the third game of this match, or fourth tour, and there's a little bit of a bad call here on what I'm going to call it. Is I got the letters mixed up, and I initially called A, did correct myself and called C. I think it caused a little bit of delay at the start, I believe, obviously. We recovered and said, hey, we're going to go see the Med and AMX are going to go over here across the river. I think we were in pretty good shape, except we might have had somebody, because of that bad call, it was a little bit late coming out. Maybe they loaded a little bit late too. We did have somebody trying to spy B. And I'm taking a hit from something over there, as you can tell. But look at the mini map again. Look at that. We're spread out. We're over here at C. Got some guys that are on C itself. We're across the river. It's just not mutually supported. All right, and you can look at all them. They are all down at B. Somebody was capped A. We make the decision to go after the WZ because we're going to try to clear the WZ, and help out. But what happens is they've got basically 6 tanks that are going to push on 5, and we're going to take care of the WZ, but they're just going to push and push too hard. It's not going to end up very well for us. Even though we took out the WZ, it did cost us a tank and time, basically out of position. That WZ essentially took out 2 tanks. He didn't take me out, but I'm out of the action now for how many seconds of the battle, while the rest of their heavies are pushing hard. So at this point, I know we're in dire straits. So I'm diving in there again. This is not really what you want to do normally, but had to get in and help the guys out. And I knew it was kind of low odds. Did it anyway, and paid the price. As you can see, the results.
We're immobilized. We're done for. Get out.
Okay, guys, we're back on the 4th tour. Still we lost, the match, but we've had another life. So back here at Castile, and essentially we're going to run the same strats as we did a little bit earlier. So there's going to be not a whole lot new there. As I believe, Little Picasard is going to kind of run up and do the B scout, route, and kind of scout up through there. And we got the rest of our guys, we're going to follow up. Now this time we've got 2 heavies and 1 TD, 2 meds and 1 light. They're very heavy. So, and if you'll notice, is actually we're down a tank. We've only got 6 tanks. So I make a kind of a calculated risk here of they're going to push C and B. I'm going to go here and cap. Okay. So being 1 tank down, you kind of got to do things a little differently, maybe take chances when they're available, and see what you can come up with. So anyway, our AMX, he has spotted, I think, most everybody up here. And as I cap the base and come up, the call is everybody kind of be looking at the B areas, because that's where our teammate is. We're kind of there at. See what develops out of this. I mean, sometimes you make a call and you got to see what develops and then go from there. Now, I get a shot in, but I'm spotted. I don't want to pop out and get deleted. It's because you're up there, everybody can see you and get shots on you. And they were a little bit unspotted at the time. Now, there's the KV2 who's popped up right where I feared he would be. Now, this is kind of my fault for taking a shot here. I think it was blind, but I may have not had camo reset. Anyway, KV2 is a slow tank. Just leave him alone, push over here, and I believe, I'm looking at things here, guys. If you wonder what I'm thinking is, we're down a tank because we started that way. They got 2 caps. We got at least a couple of low HP tanks there. My call was push it, push it, push it. Push a KV2 backed up by some more heavy tanks over there. there again, we were down a tank and we're down a couple of caps. You got to take chances sometimes and do what you can and go from there. We do take out one of their tanks, so we're kind of even up on tanks now. Still down a caps, although we're up on points right now. We've taken 2 of those tanks out. That KV2 went down. Now they got their VK is still there in that position, so we're, basically evened up at this point. And because I'm a one-shot, I kind of don't get in on the action other than I am trying to cap and make calls here. Now the VK is going to press up, get kind of a lucky shot, take him out. At this point, as we're up tanks, we're up caps and points. So, you'll hear me, make that call, make that statement, and do what you can. There's no need to go crazy and get kills. I'll take it, but sometimes you get a little over aggressive and you can hurt yourself there. Now, basically, at the end of this match is us chewing on this T-150 and his teammate and just getting him whittled down and taking the game.
Punched right through their armor. Another one like that should finish them. They're knocked out.
And so here we are, guys. This is the second game of the match. As you can see there, I think the lineups remain essentially the same, except this time around, we have a full lineup, which is always kind of a good thing. We did a good job. We took that last match with one down, but I always rather prefer to start out at least even. The same thing, same call here. It's basically we're all going to go A and see what develops. I want to take the point. I pointed this out in match. Pointed out here, I don't hit the bridge. Look at expert driving. Learn from your mistakes. Anyway, so get across the bridge here, move up to the high ground, and if I remember right, is what we're going to do is get up here in this spot, which is kind of a great area, and they got somebody going to C, but it looks like they got multiple tanks coming into the A area. So we've made that call. They come, we're in good position to get a good spot, get the shots, and don't bleed or get out of cover. So I'm up here in a really good area for the most part, and able to kind of get spots in and make calls, and we delete their heavy. They've got another heavy over there, so that means we should have a numerical advantage over here. I think that was a bit of a call. We got to get over and help one of our teammates out. Their AR has gotten a little aggressive, and now that our team has reacted and rotated over there, so we were looking the other way. Now we've come back to lead him in short order. Now their Jagdpanzer is snuck up behind us. And I don't see that second tank until too late. Take a couple of hits. We are up 2 tanks at this point, so therefore, is there? You don't have to rush and be rash, and we really don't, which is a good thing. I'm a moment of indecision there, going back and forth. Finally, get over here because my teammate has that area covered. Take out another tank. We're up 2. Take another big hit. Seems to be my theme this game. Just back up and let the Kuro take care of business. I'm a one-shot. You don't want to die. Keep your gun in game. You can get in and get sniped, but a lot of times, guys, they see those one shots and they really want to get them, and they'll make errors chasing. Because a lot of times I get down to one shot. But anyway, we've taken out. We've got 2 tanks left. Taken out everything there. They were kind of camping out on C. Everybody cleans up and takes this game and the match. So essentially, we're going to win out 2 or 4. Win the game. And just because we had some communication issues, we had one guy that was not on Discord. Had another guy that was doing some lagging out, so we just declined to do the second game or second tournament, and then ended it with this one. But anyway, hey, it was we won out, so we did well overall. We kind of made a few mistakes along the way. And I'm going to say that the matches that we lost, if you go back and take a look at those mini maps and what developed, is we got strung out and weren't supportive of one another. The guns couldn't rotate, the tanks couldn't get to an area fast enough, if at all, to help your teammate out. And that's where we messed up and lost games. As you can see, that last game, we were on top of that hill, and even though we were looking one direction, moving that way, is we were able to rotate real quick and come over and help out. I believe it was Atomic with the other ARL and a couple other tanks, and help him out, and we will go on to win the match. So anyway, hey, I'll work on the Discord audio, but I hope this helps out a little bit.